Baltimore did very well. Baltimore added a lot of talent. They just need to address that one position in particular, because it's not even interior D line. They'll survive an interior D line assuming Matt Abike is healthy, right? They just need to address center, and then it's fine. But the players that they picked, I think they did very well.
Going back to that for a second, let's pull up what EDC said about the center position. This from Jamison Hemsley. Says Ravens GM Eric DeCosta on WBAL radio said center position is in a state of flux. DeCosta quote says, it didn't work out for us this past weekend. I think there may be some potential trades we can look at and some other things we can do to address that position. So there is he recognizes, hey, we kind of messed up there a little bit. I appreciate the acknowledgement, right? I appreciate him not saying, oh well, this is part of the plan and this is the season doesn't start until September. Yeah, we know that, right? But we're asking you about that right now. And he said, hey, we tried to get a guy in the draft, we didn't, but now we're going to pivot to something else. And the fact that he said we could possibly address this via trade tells me he's been working the phones, right?
Well, the other thing it tells you, honestly, is those days of, man, there's going to be a bunch of starters cut, after June 1st. Those days are mostly gone. You don't see the influx of talent and that next wave of free agency as much as you used to.
Right.
Teams find ways to keep their more talented players, whether it's straight pay cuts or restructured, whatever it is. And the guys that are hitting the streets aren't guys who you can bring in to plug your holes, right? I was looking at Spotrac and the currently available free agents, and come on, Jackson Kuwatch, all right? Because I didn't really see a whole lot out there that I would want to bring in. So
yeah,
really pulling for the Miami of Ohio alum.
Yeah. I mean, but that might be the same thing for you guys, where you might have to look via trade at somebody. Now, that's one thing we haven't really talked about, like some trade candidates. Look, for offensive line, it's extremely difficult. But like I mentioned before, Ozzie did it before to get a starting left tackle, which is mind blowing that he was able to pull that off. Yeah. But Ozzie's still in the building. Ozzie still has relationships with a lot of these different GMs and teams and whatnot. And EDC's been around for a while too, so maybe they called around and there are some teams showing interest. And I did a little digging via Chat GPT. Okay, and Chat GPT is extremely accurate. These AIs, they're so accurate. I'm being very sarcastic when I say that they are not accurate at all. But I put in there, I said, who are potential trade candidates for center? One name popped up. They put a few names up there, and I did some digging. I was like, no, that's not actually true. But one name popped up that we could be on the lookout for, and that's Cesar Ruiz, right, for the Saints. Now, he doesn't play center right now, but he came into the league playing center.
Yeah,
right. He came out the draft playing center, and he's not great. He's had an up and down career, and he's going into he has one more year on his contract after this year, and that might be somebody that they're like, look. And they drafted a guard, I believe. So that might be somebody that they might be looking to move on from this year for the right price. And if he comes in and plays center for us, don't expect greatness, but he'll be solid at the very least, and only 26 years old. So, there's an option there. She said, I heard Alejandro Villanueva needs a job. I'm sure he does. Or he doesn't. I'm sure he's made enough money. Okay. He doesn't need a job. Might have to see if Emory Jones can snap the ball as well. That's yeah. I mean, explore all options. But I hope it doesn't come down to we had to have a internal workout, a competition to see who gets that job. I hope we just have a clear answer there.
Yeah. The other thing is, I believe this was from Mitchell Schwartz, the former right tackle of the Chiefs, he always says, you don't move guys around on the O-line, right? His thing was like, hey, if guys get hurt, put in the backup. Don't say, hey, my right tackle's hurt, so I'm going to move my left tackle to right tackle. Because now what you did is you just made two positions weaker, right? Because your left tackle's not as good on the right side as he is on the left. So Emory Jones, they think he's going to be a great guard. They think Big is going to be a great guard. Let those guys play guard. And you go do your job and figure out center. Let those guys play the position that they play the position that they're best at. And having two very good guards, if it turns out that way, will help whoever ends up being the center anyway.